November is the month when you can concentrate on winter jobs, as the main growing season is finished and we can get a few maintenance jobs done before the really cold weather sets in.
There's a lot of steam coming off those piles of wood chips. There's some coming off that lot, but it's not as noticeable as what's going off there. It looks like smoke. The garlic has started coming up, so even though the ground is frosty, the garlic on this row is putting an appearance, so we'll see what happens. It's a long way till harvest time, but at least they've come up.
A local community garden wanted some raspberries, so I've dug up and potted some, ready for them to collect when they can come up and get them. I've cut the tops off the plants that I've dug up so that they can simply plant them and leave them till the summer. There are still plenty of raspberries in the raspberry patch, even though I have given some plants to other allotment holders.
Cutting back these hedges is giving a lot of space, clearing a lot of space. But I've had to give it a really drastic cut because it's just all rotten and it just powders to nothing. It just falls away. It's got this fungus on it, so I don't want that spreading to the whole hedge. And look at it, it's just like nothing. I shouldn't be able to break hawthorn, privet hedge like that. It's just crumbles to dust, so all needs cutting, which is a bit drastic because it doesn't leave much of the hedge between the two plots, but it's got to be done, otherwise the whole hedge will get the fungus. I don't know how long it's been since anybody's actually cut these, but a few years I should think. Kathy's cut some on her side. The sun comes from this side, so it's been a bit overgrown, so it looks a bit bad, but once it starts putting out leaves next year, it'll look fine, and in a couple of years it'll all be green and lush. And of course, as I'm pulling out the weeds and brambles, there's the obligatory grass, carpet. Oh dear, I don't know how much. I think they've not found enough grass in this allotment to build a skyscraper. I don't know where they found all this grass. There's tons of it, and there's enough carpet here to God, like, lordy. Well, I'll deal with that later. But let's get the hedge trimmed and then I'll deal with what's down here. Bloody hell. As I'm going through this, I'm walking along trying to cut this hedge. I can constantly hear the sound of breaking glass. I mean, it's hidden away down there. So, oh God. Don't know what I'm going to do about all that. I thought I'd done away with finding masses of glass, but you can see there's no leaves in the middle of the hedge. All the leaves are on the ends or at the top. So all this bit down here, there's not a single leaf in the middle, because it's not had any sun for ages. So it's put all its leaves at the top. But once this has been trimmed, it will start putting out new young branches and leaves from the sides. Looking at it, it sort of looks like a good day's work, and you think, oh yeah, well done, and then you look around to how much rubbish it's actually generated. And I've done about 3 meters of hedge. Oh dear.
There's a lot of rubbish lying around on the ground under the hedges. Things like an old petrol can, bits of metal. I think that corrugated metal was part of the fence, so I might leave that. I don't know what that white box is, and there seems to be more corrugated metal along the fence. The bath is one that I bought just to put some of the rubbish in, so that wasn't there, but the other stuff like the glass and things are stuff that I'm finding as I cut back the hedges. These hedges are quite tall, and the burn pile is getting rather large, so I'll have to start burning some before I can cut too much more, otherwise I'll have nowhere to put them. There's a lot of privet cuttings, and it's going to be a bit of a problem dealing with it as it's taking up a lot of space.
We've got the broad beans coming up, but it seems like something is eating the tops, so that one's alright, but I think something is eating the tops. See that one? It's been chewed. The garlic is coming out okay. And even the elephant garlic is putting an appearance, but of all the bulbs I put in, this is the only one that's come up so far. Right, well, I've started in this corner so that I can cut stuff and put in. I'm taking the leafy bits, and that can be used as mulch. The other bits are just the branches, the twigs. Obviously they'll take forever to compost, so they've got to be burnt. But these privets are huge and they've just gone overgrown. You can see this thing is going right across. Nobody's been looking after these for years. Clearly they've just been left to grow and grow and grow. And here you can see that the alder and the privet are growing into each other. They're really bad, and there's quite a few bits that are basically, you can see it's just snaps off. I mean, it's really bad. So these have got to be taken out. You can see it's all got fungus and diseased. So I'll take out all I can. But there are spots where if I take it out, it's going to leave gaps in the fence. So for example, if I take this out, it's going to leave a bit of a gap in the hedge. So I'll wait till Karen's back on her plot and see what she wants to do, because I don't want to leave her with no fence. There used to be a bird's nest here. It looks like it was this year's. Obviously it's November now, so the birds have fledged and gone, but there have been birds nesting in these bits, but I've cut back quite a bit. And there's random bits of rubbish like bits of metal and plastic. An old petrol can. I mean, this thing is an antique. You wouldn't get these now. Random bits of glass, just broken glass, just randomly just left against the fence. And why they can't be bothered to clear it up, I don't know, but I mean, I couldn't see it before because of all the stuff that was in the way. So no doubt I'll find some more as I clear along the rest of that lot. Anybody that thinks carpet will stop weeds coming through, look, there's carpet. Bramble, 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 bramble within and it's all in that bit of carpet. It's just come straight through. I mean, there is rotten old carpet that goes all the way. I mean, it's gone up to those brambles as far as I've gone, tried to lift it, so there's quite a lot of it. I'm putting all the clippings onto the beds. I've just limed this bed. This is going to be a brassica bed next year, so I've limed it. That's what the white stuff is. But all the hedge trimmings will go on top of the beds, and the leaves will rot down over winter, and I'll pick out the branches and they'll just snap and become a wood chip mulch. Found out the culprit were pigeons, so I decided to build this now to stop the pigeons coming in. I was going to do this later when the beans were up, because it acts as a windbreak, but also if I don't put it up now, the pigeons won't leave any beans come up, so this will also act as a pigeon deterrent, because pigeons sort of fly close and then they'll sort of walk in and sort of investigate, and hopefully this, because it's got a bit of give in it, and then these will rattle a bit, so the wind will hopefully give these a bit of a shake when pigeons are around, and hopefully they'll leave my beans alone. Otherwise I'll be eating pigeon pie. Right, the temporary leaf mould bin is done. I've just used an old compost bay that somebody gave me, and some bits of corrugated roofing that has seen better days, obviously. So this was all destined for this scrap. So put that in the bin just to hold the leaves in and stop them blowing about, and basically all I've got to do is just leave it for a year or two, and it will all rot down. Now, there are some twigs and there are some fresh leaves in here, but it's what I could get, so it's just a case of just leaving it, letting it rot down, and then I'll be able to use this for mulch. The broad beans at this end seem to have come up. The garlic is still doing alright. The elephant garlic, some are coming out, but the rest is a bit miss. And this seems to have held up, apart from that corner. I'll fix that. The frost has killed off the raspberry leaves, and it's killed off the thistles and things, so I can see what's what in here now, and eventually I'll be able to move these raspberries over to where the hedge was, or rather, once I've cut that hedge I can put this along that hedge. This branch has actually grown into the trunk, or it's sort of rubbed and grown into the other branch, and these two are getting very close. So you can see it's grown on this side, it's grown into that one, and on this side it's grown into that one. So the best thing to do is to cut it down from there, and then these other two have got little branches coming off them. So if I cut this one about here, that should get rid of the problem. As I'm cutting, there are pieces where, I mean, that is a very long straight branch, so if I cut it just in the corner there where it starts branching out, that is a nice long piece which I can use as a post for something. So might get a few useful bits of wood, posts and things, out of cutting these privet hedges. Once I've cut it, that's one end is along the edge of the bath, and it goes all the way along the bath, and then some. So it's almost 1.5 times the length of the bath, well over 2 meters. So that'll be a nice plant support or a post for something. And I've cut some little ones as well, so we won't be short of stakes for a while. Cold frosty morning, you can see the frost, and then the steam coming off the wood chip pile. The raspberry patch is frozen solid. There's frost on the garlic and the broad beans. There's quite a lot of fungus and disease on this, and it is just snapping off. I mean, those two just snapped off without any effort. It's just all rotten. So quite a lot of this hedge has got to come out. The elder's got some as well. So this has got to come out. A great big thick piece of wood like that, I mean, that's my finger in a glove. So look at it. Just snaps because it's all rotten. I mean, that, compare that to the thickness of my finger. So 3 or 4 times the thickness of my finger, and they just snap like a twig. All rotten. Frozen mushroom on this tree. So that's bad news. There's mushrooms growing on the actual wood of the trunk. Means it's all rotten inside. I got this bit of bramble, cut the first bit off, and I thought, where's the end of it? It goes up, 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 up into the tree, round the tree, and back down again. And the end is somewhere in the neighbouring allotment, so I can only cut so much of it off. That massive privet hedge has gone. And it was, you can see it's that bit in the corner between the 3 allotments is still as tall as the trees, but this bit is gone. I couldn't get all of it because some of it is actually over on the neighbour's allotment, so I can't get to it, but she can sort that bit out if she wants. I've still got a fair bit to do, but at least I can come in and sort this corner and start from this corner and move out. 3 hours later and there's still ice and frost on the ground, but there is no sign of any frost on top of these heaps because the heat has melted everything off.
In the next video we'll get an update for December, so goodbye for now and come back soon.